We'll call, at the time being approximately 7 p.m., we will call the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of August 22nd. Seems like October already, doesn't it? To order. I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. The first item on our agenda is a reorganization of the Zoning Board of Appeals. That's electing a chair, a clerk, and a vice chair. So, I know these are appointments, not anointments. Is there anyone, we'll go with the chair first, is anyone interested in assuming the role of the chair?
No, but I nominate you to act as chair.
I will second that nomination.
Is there any additional discussion? Well, yes, no. Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain from that vote. Okay, next up is the clerk. Current clerk is Ann Cody. Does anyone want to be clerk?
But I will nominate Ann. I'll move to nominate Ann.
Good thing people showed up tonight.
There you go.
All right, I have a motion to,
Second it.
seconded by Mr. Renault. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. All right, and then this actually, the agenda says authorized signatory, but it's actually vice chair. And do we have a nomination for vice chair?
Nominate Carolyn.
All right. We have a motion to nominate Carolyn.
No, second it.
Second it. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Can I oppose?
Yeah, you
I'll
can
abstain.
You can abstain.
I won't vote. I won't
You'll
vote
oppose
against
it.
it.
That's just, there you go.
There you go. All right, next up is the approval of our minutes, June 22nd, July 11th, and July 25th. Does anyone have any questions, comments, additions, edits, deletions? Have we all looked at them? Are we
I
comfortable
looked
with
through
them?
them briefly.
Yeah.
Fine with them.
Good? Everybody's good? All right. We can approve them all on one swoop, or we can do them one by one? I'll accept the motion from somebody
I'll make a motion.
to
Approve
accept
them all, yeah.
Approve them all. All right, motion made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Carolyn. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. All right. Item number 3, we're moving right along. We'll be out of here by 7:15. Review decisions from prior meetings and approval. That's 10-18 Boston Street. That was Villbridge acquisition. This was an application for a comprehensive permit. Those who were here at the last meeting, you may know that we actually closed the hearing on that. This was just a question of approving the decision. I think council has reviewed the decision with opposing counsel and the applicant. Is there any additional discussion or questions on the decision?
I think we were holding off because of the driveway, right? Do you want to take B first?
What's that?
Maybe we take B out of order, get that one done?
We could do that and then do both decisions at the same time. I'll defer to council.
Whatever you like. These are not, I mean, the hearing is the hearing, so that's a little more formal. This you can tuck it in whenever you want, because we
Okay.
closed the hearing.
All right, why don't we
so-
go to B then?
Sure.
All right, item B, which is 49 South Main Street, Villbridge acquisition. It's my understanding that the decisions and correspondence have been going between council and the applicant. Is there any additional information or discussion we'd like to offer from the applicant?
Lars Linnion, Villbridge Acquisitions. The only update, I didn't provide a new status slide, I'm sorry, because nothing has changed other than after the conversation last time, we submitted a letter to the board to request a withdrawal of the special permit applications for the drive-throughs at this time, without prejudice. So we are not proposing to make any design changes, just to not go through that brain damage of peer reviewing a new design, but also to keep the option open to potentially come back to the board if there is a specific user for specific use that addresses some of the concerns that were expressed as it relates to traffic impacts, particularly during the morning commute, i.e. don't show up with a coffee shop. But have that potential, but not the expectation of that by any means. And the purpose of withdrawing was to just take that issue off the table as it relates to it being a contingency on the larger negotiation we talked about that's happened over the last year as it relates to all the various traffic improvements.
Okay, so there's no other changes to that building or anything else? It's just that you're
Nothing.
you're withdrawing the
Use.
the drive-through special permit use. Is that
Right. And-
That's
and
right.
We worked on some language around that, John and I did, just to, I wanted to make sure that it was noted in the decision that the drive-through facility itself wasn't there, but that the design was still tracking the original design, so it could be
Okay.
plug and play if they got the right approval there.
And come back to us for
Sure,
the
yeah.
special permit. Do we need to vote on the withdrawal,
We
right?
do need to vote on the withdrawal, correct?
Okay, why don't we start with that one? That one's fairly easy. I'll accept the motion that we accept the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice the application for a special permit for a drive-through. So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Okay. Members, any additional discussion on the application and the other several special permits associated with it?
Just only question, like, just to be clear, so it's on the record that, that this is considered to be consistent with the approval that you were seeking, right? Is that correct? It's because we
I'm
talk
sorry,
about
what's consistent?
we talk about the approval in the residential,
Yep.
right? We talk about the commercial approval in the residential decision. So just to be clear, this is not a change in your mind from what you were looking
Correct.
for?
Yes.
Is that correct?
So yes, as we included in the letter, just for the avoidance of doubt, essentially what we're saying is we are no longer asking for it, and therefore if we don't get it, that's not a reason to say that anything else wasn't satisfied.
Just want to make sure it's
We're,
clear.
the drive-through issue is now completely to the side and at the full discretion of the board outside of everything else that's been worked through across the town the last year.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Nope. Carolyn, any questions, comments? The applicant?
No.
Ann?
No.
Craig? Nothing. Okay. Is there anyone here from the public that has any question or comment, anything new that we haven't discussed at prior meetings? Yes, ma'am. Come up, please, name and address.
Diane Anderson, 7 Boston Street, Middleton. So my question, just for clarification, on the drive-through, does that mean it's just put to the side for this minute? Or is it something that can come back later? Not quite clear on what that entails.
So it's out right now. If he decides that he would like to entertain that, he has a right to come back
Okay.
to this board, and we go through the whole discussions all over again. It may require additional analysis, traffic analysis, or any of those sorts of things. But at this point in time, it's no longer part of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi,
Come on up, name and address, please. Very formal.
I'm Lois Afro, Rowell Lane. I think the sign currently advertises for a drive-through. Is that sign going to be changed?
That says it's a drive-through? Is that what you said?
I think that sign on in front of it for drive-through, is that sign going to be changed?
The fact, it doesn't matter what's on that sign. The drive-through is out. And by the
Except
time they
that-
build this, there'll be no drive-through being constructed as part of the project. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, there could be if the holds
Right, he
off and
can apply
applies, but
later.
the sign is not zoning. He could put a sign that there's going to be,
Free trips to Aruba.
right, and it
Oh,
doesn't
sign me
matter.
up.
Right.
Okay, that's all. Clarification.
Yes, sir. So, anything new that we haven't discussed?
Hi, Nick Kalides, 38 Rowell Lane. I just wanted to comment on the request for variance for the sign sizes. The town has ordinances in terms of sign sizes, and all we've heard is, well, that place down the street has a bigger sign, and that one over there has this. Why do we have rules to begin with, and why aren't we adhering to them? rather than making exceptions every time it comes before the board. This either needs to be looked at so we change our rules, or, we should be looking again as to why we're granting a variance for sign sizes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, it's a special permit, not a variance. It's a special permit to increase, so the special permit allows you to look at each project individually to see if it warrants a bigger sign. It's not a variance.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Hartwell, do you have a comment?
Took the words out of my mouth.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. Counsel, anything from you?
No, the last decision around, I think dated the 16th, got circulated. We worked out the last few kinks between us after some of your review, some of Lars's and John's review. There is a blank in a letter from the planning board. I don't mind if it stays blank. If we have that date before you put your signature on it, that would be fine, but the fact that it lists a letter from the planning board as evidence, it's on page 6, is without a date, is okay with me. If we can fill in that blank, it's fine. Otherwise, these terms have been vetted and vetted and vetted and vetted.
And you're comfortable?
Yeah, I am. It was a
All
good
right.
team effort. Lars and his team really contributed to help it bring around you, and Bill obviously helped shape it, as well as the rest of the board.
Okay. This has been a long road, so to speak. With that, Mr. Hartwell,
Do we want to close the hearing? Or, I mean, it doesn't matter.
that's what
We
we're
can
going to
close
start
it.
with.
Okay.
Mr. Hartwell. Motion to,
Close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
motion to close the public hearing and seconded by Mr. Renault. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Hartwell.
Do you have a copy of the last this version of the decision by chance?
Do. It was rough, I mean, my date on it is the
It's
16th.
the one. It's the one from I think Friday. You sent it around. Or
The one that I sent.
Yeah, so you might have forwarded it on. It was dated the 16th, was my date stamp on it.
all right,
You want water?
I got it.
He's ready.
Mr. Chair, I will propose that the board make the following findings, specifically concerning site plan approval, that based on all the evidence provided and the testimony presented during the public hearing, that the layout of the property as shown on the plans ensures the most advantageous use of the property, protects the legitimate interests of adjoining property owners, and provides benefits to the town and neighborhood which outweigh any adverse effects. In particular, I propose that the board make the following specific findings. First, that concerning submittal requirements, the applicant has satisfied the submittal requirements under section 9.5.5 of the zoning bylaws. Concerning the approval requirements pursuant to section 9.5.11 of the zoning bylaws, the evidence provided demonstrates that site plans comply with each of the following objectives and the performance standards as set forth in section 5.4 of the zoning bylaws as follows. A, compliance with all density and dimensional requirements applicable to developments and structures within the business district, as well as the requirements for parking and loading spaces and all other provisions of the zoning bylaws. B, the proposed project provides for improved access with the sole direct access entering into and exiting from South Main Street with adequate site clearances and distances for both vehicular and pedestrian access, which ensures convenience and safety of vehicular and pedestrian movement on the site and for the location of driveway openings in relation to street traffic. C, the layout and design of the travel ways and driveways within the property have been peer reviewed and found to be acceptable as depicted on the plans. D, the project provides more than sufficient parking. The proposed uses as a total of 115 parking spaces are provided where 102 parking spaces are required. E, the arrangement and appearance of proposed buildings are attractive and have been designed to blend into the neighborhood. Architectural design and the freestanding and attached signs, screening, and landscape design meet the objectives of the zoning bylaw. And F, the project design as depicted on the plans has been peer reviewed and provides for adequate lighting, proper surface and subsurface drainage. It will incorporate a compliant Title V disposal system.
I have a second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Mr. Chair, based on those findings of the board's authority to grant such relief under section 9.5 of these bylaws, I make a motion to grant site plan approval subject to the excuse me, subject to the conditions described in section 4 below.
I'll second that. Oh, are you still going?
Hold, please.
Hold.
Hold, please.
Just note maybe the date of the decision, so we save Craig from reading it all. Can we do that? I mean, I think it's available, right?
Highlights?
Council.
I mean, I gave Craig the green light to do a more abbreviated version of this weeks ago.
I like, see, yeah, that's good.
I mean, I like hearing Craig talk, don't get me wrong.
I like hearing Craig talk when he's on the clock.
I want some highlights.
What would be appropriate language for the motion, council?
Well, no,
You
the
did
motion
define
has to incorporate the conditions. That's where how do we go through all
10 pages of
13,
conditions.
yeah, 12 pages of conditions?
Well, I mean, you could, whatever motion to approve whatever the enumerated special permits with the conditions as noted in the
Decision dated.
the draft drafted by council on August 16th.
You okay with that?
That sounds like
I mean, it's in each of your packets. It's
Yeah.
evidence for the board that was introduced during the pendency of the public hearing.
You comfortable with that, Craig?
He's a lawyer, he's thinking.
But it's up to Craig. He's the magic
I mean,
man.
it's not really up to me. It's just I have concerns about its introduction into the record.
It's already in the record.
I know, but like as part of the record during this meeting, I guess is my concern. But I hear what you're saying.
You want to summarize each section a little bit? Or just coming up with something I don't. Read the heading,
You can't really just read.
I've seen
I mean,
it done both
like the
ways.
first sentence.
I've seen it done where we just date, based on the date of the
Based on the
draft.
date of the decision as submitted August 16th.
as submitted and including the conditions as submitted and approved by the applicant and town council dated
On the draft dated August 16th.
on the draft dated August 16th.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made and seconded. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
One down.
Mr. Chair, now that we've got the site plan approved, concerning the special permit for use, I move that the board make the following findings. That based on all the evidence provided and the testimony presented during the public hearing, that the adverse effects of allowing a restaurant use with entertainment, specifically sections 9.4, 3.1.2, and C14 of the Table of Use Regulations of the zoning bylaws, do not outweigh the beneficial impacts of the town or neighborhood as provided under section 9.4.2 of the zoning bylaws further described below. The board makes the following findings. 1, community needs which are served by the proposal. It is beneficial to encourage the redevelopment of vacant, underutilized properties and convert them to viable, productive, and attractive businesses. The project, including restaurant facilities, is designed to attract and maintain desirable tenants, designed to both return a restaurant use and other food uses to the property and to introduce a variety of smaller complementary commercial and retail uses. Concerning traffic and pedestrian flow and safety, the redevelopment of the property, including the special permit uses, create no public safety concerns and ensures convenient and safe ingress and egress for both pedestrian and vehicular traffic, including emergency vehicles, without adding material peak trips to the project, all of which has been confirmed by the applicants and board's peer review professionals. Of significant benefit is the applicant's proposed dedication at no cost to the town of future access easements both along Boston Street and South Main Street, which presents a unique and vital opportunity to enable the town to facilitate implementation of both the critical infrastructure improvements in the long-term corridor improvement project as identified in the corridor improvement study described in the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, which would improve a long-standing traffic bottleneck area within Middleton Center corridor. Concerning the adequacy of utilities and public services, the property layout and all proposed improvements are more than sufficient to meet the needs of the special permit uses as well as other uses of the project, the town, and all abutters. Concerning neighborhood character, the special permit uses do not negatively impact neighborhood character as safe and convenient access is provided throughout the property. And while there are similar uses within the South Main Street corridor, the special permit uses are designed to provide another walkable and drivable retail option to residents in the surrounding neighborhood. Concerning the impacts on the natural environment, the special permit uses do not negatively impact the natural environment as the existing site is almost entirely paved or occupied with structures, and the project will include landscaping, lighting, and screening enhancements designed to create an attractive retail option for the town, which complements the surrounding neighborhood. Concerning the potential economic and fiscal impacts, the redevelopment of the property and the special permit uses will result in the fiscal benefit of converting a vacant and dilapidated structure into a first-class retail complex that will generate retail sales, real estate sales, and personal property tax revenue for the town. In addition to the direct fiscal impact, the redevelopment of special permit uses will add to the local economy by bringing new businesses to town and increasing job opportunities within Middleton.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Based on those findings, I move that the board grant the
Following.
It's special permit findings.
It's a comprehensive permit. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry, yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're going one by
Jumping the
one.
gun
I'm just
again.
making sure I've got this. I will move that the board grant the special permit as section 3.1.2 in the table of use regulations to allow the C commercial 1-4 restaurant with entertainment for the purpose of allowing a restaurant use with entertainment subject to the conditions described in section 4 as approved,
You want to go through all of them, or?
as previously approved.
Yeah, we previously
Just did
approved.
them, yeah.
Yeah, just did 'em.
All right.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Concerning the special permits for signs, based on all the evidence provided and the testimony presented, I move to make the following findings. One, that the submittal requirements, concerning the submittal requirements, that the applicant has satisfied the submittal requirements under section 5.2.7 and 9.4 of the zoning bylaws. Two, that the signs are in harmony with the general purposes of section 5.2. Concerning the approval requirements, the evidence provided demonstrates that special permit relief pursuant to section 5.2.7 and 9.4 of the zoning bylaws is warranted as the signs comply with each of the following special permit objectives and the performance standards set forth in the zoning bylaws as follows. A, for ground signs in excess of 15 feet above ground level, section 5.2.11.1.e. The applicant proposes a ground sign that is 18.75 feet tall to be located at the northeast corner of the site as depicted on the plans. B, to allow for multi-occupant building wall signs for each occupant/tenant. So that's under section 5.2.11.2.e. As a multi-tenant property, the project will require adequate signage for each tenant in order to provide efficient and effective messaging. To this end, a total of 1 wall sign for each inline tenant and 3 wall signs for each end unit tenant are as depicted in the plans. As it is premature to identify specific tenants, the dimensions of each sign of the signs are shown with the content intended as placeholders. C, to allow for wall signs on more than one side of a building since the property is a corner lot, section 5.2.11.2.f. Provision is clear. The provision of clear identifying signage is a critical factor in attracting and securing higher-end commercial tenants to a space located at the corner of the intersection of Boston Street and South Main Street. To this end, the proposed signage will provide clear messaging and blend in with the architectural style of the buildings in an attractive manner, consistent with the purposes of the bylaws.
Okay. I'll second it.
Were you done, Craig?
No.
I'll hold off on that second.
The signs noted above satisfy all the following criteria pursuant to section 5.2.7, and such signs are in harmony with and do not derogate from the general purposes of this regulation as described above for the following reasons, as provided in section 5.2.7.2 of the zoning bylaw. Concerning the location, the property is an appropriate location for proposed signs for the reasons described, and the unique conditions of as a corner lot are different from other similarly situated retail/commercial properties located in the district and require special relief. Concerning the adverse effects in the neighborhood, the signs will not adversely affect or be incongruous with the neighborhood or surrounding zoning district in which it is to be located, given that the design of the signs complement the architecture of the property and the surrounding neighborhood. Concerning the safety hazards, the locations of the signs are in areas that will not block sight distance or create a visual hazard, and as a result, there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicular or pedestrian traffic or safety as a result of the signs. The signs satisfy all the applicable dimensional and other criteria described in section 5.2 unless otherwise waived or approved as provided herein. In addition to the special criteria described above, the following special permit criteria described in section 9.4 herein, the following additional special permit criteria are met for the following signs. 1. Additional findings concerning the multi-occupant buildings under section 5.2.11.2.e. In addition to the findings under section 9.4 and 5.2.7, the applicant demonstrates the following criteria have been satisfied. A, concerning combined sign area, the combined sign area will not exceed the sign area as determined under section 2.a of section 5.2.11. No combination, concerning the combination of wall and roof signs, the multi-occupant buildings will only have wall signs and will not have a combination of wall and roof signs. In terms of uniformity of design, the wall signs will be consistent in color, size, color, and character, which provide for a uniform design. Additional findings concerning the wall signs on more than one side of the building, that's section 5.2.11.2.f. In addition to the findings under sections 9.4 and 5.2.7 above, the following criteria have also been met. A, corner lot. The buildings are located on a corner lot with legal frontage on both sides for the business district. Signage orientation, the signs are to be placed on the side of the building with legal frontage and that faces its parking lot. And C, concerning the area, the sign area on all such signs shall not exceed sign area as determined under section 2.a above.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any additional discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No. I thought you said yes. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Based on the foregoing special permit findings, in addition to the general special findings, and under our authority to grant such relief under section 5.2 and 9.4 of the zoning bylaws, I move to approve, subject to the conditions stated herein, the foregoing special permits under section 5.2.7 and 9.4 of the zoning bylaws to allow the following. 1, to allow a ground sign, which is 18.75 feet in height, where a sign height of 15 feet above ground level is allowed under section 5.2.11.1.e, with the ground sign to be located at the northeast corner of the site as depicted on the plans. 2, to allow for the multi-occupant building wall signs for each occupant tenant as allowed under section 5.2.11.2.e for a total of 1 wall sign for each inline tenant and 3 wall signs for each end unit tenant as depicted on the plans. And to allow for wall signs on more than one side of the building since the property is a corner lot under section 5.2.11.2.f to be located at the corner of the intersection of Boston Street and South Main Street as shown on the plans, subject to the previously approved conditions described as section 4 below.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? So moved.
Mr. Chair, concerning the special permit for landscaping buffer, based on all the evidence provided and the testimony presented, I will move to make the following findings concerning the landscape buffer special permit. The applicant has requested approval to incorporate a sidewalk within the 10-foot landscape buffer required under section 5.3.2, which may be reduced by the board by special permit pursuant to section 5.3.9 upon a finding that such reduction will not result in substantial detriment. While section 5.3.2 provides that planted buffer areas along property lines with residential districts or uses shall be at least 10 feet in depth, and adds that no part of any building or structure or paved space intended for or used as a parking area may be located within the buffer area. The proposed location of the sidewalk within the project landscape buffer area is located along the northerly boundary of the property between the property's parking lot on Lot 3 and the boundary of the abutting multifamily residential lot on Lot 2, as depicted on sheet C3 of the plans. The purpose of locating the sidewalk in this area is to provide enhanced circulation for common patrons and improve pedestrian connections within the abutting multifamily residential project currently before the board. The board finds that the location of the pedestrian sidewalk connection will not result in substantial detriment within the meaning of section 5.3.2 and will in fact improve safety and pedestrian connections throughout the site.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? So moved.
Chair, based on the foregoing special permit findings, in addition to the general special permit findings, and the landscape buffer special permit findings, and pursuant to the board's authority to grant such relief under section 5.2 and 9.4 of the zoning bylaws, I will move to approve the landscape buffer special permit subject to the conditions as previously approved in section 4, as described as section 4 below.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Am I the only one that said that? Never mind.
We're getting there.
Did I not say aye?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Are we
I
back?
said aye.
Are we back to 10:18 now, right?
I said aye.
I did you?
Well, I'm saying aye. I don't know.
Will we do it
He
again?
didn't hear
All those in
me.
favor say aye.
Aye. He didn't hear me, so I'm also distracted.
Mr. Chair, concerning the special permit for the change or extension of a pre-existing non-conforming use, I will move to make the following findings.
Is it what special permit?
These are the non-conforming use special permit findings, to be exact. In accordance with section 3.3.2 of the zoning bylaw, the board may award a special permit to change a non-conforming use in accordance with this section only if it determines that such change or extension shall not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use to the neighborhood. Following types of changes to non-conforming uses may be considered by the Board of Appeals: 1, change or substantial extension of the use, or 2, a change from one non-conforming use to another, less detrimental non-conforming use. The construction of the project and the proposed site improvements will not create any new nonconformities. The town and the applicant have entered into an MOU to transfer certain easement rights along the property's frontage on Boston Street and South Main Street to the town, to the commercial project easement. In connection with the town's desire to improve the existing intersection at the corner of Boston Street and South Main Street. The transfer of the commercial project easement represents a width along the Boston Street frontage of approximately 12 feet and a width along the South Main Street frontage of approximately 24 feet to allow for future widening to accommodate town traffic improvements. The project, as proposed, without the transfer of the commercial project easement, would comply with zoning bylaw requirements. But with the transfer of the commercial project easement, there will be a need for the board to grant additional zoning bylaw relief for the project to accommodate the town's future efforts to improve long-standing traffic issues associated with the Boston Street, South Main Street intersection in the form of a request for special permits to change a pre-existing non-conforming use or condition with respect to both open area for business district, section 5.1.2.3, and green and open area within the front yard, section 4.1.2.6. Section 4.1.2.3 of the zoning bylaws requires that at least 25% of the lot area shall be free of structures, paving, storage areas, or other elements which preclude vegetation. The pre-existing non-conforming conditions at the property indicate that only 12.3% plus or minus of the lot area meets the open air requirement, that the lot area shall be free of structures, paving, storage areas, or other elements which preclude vegetation. If the proposed project did not include the transfer of the commercial project easement, the lot open area would be 25.3%, which complies with the zoning bylaw. To assist the town in its effort to correct longstanding traffic issues associated with the Boston Street South Main Street intersection, the transfer of the commercial property easement to the town would result in the reduction of open area to 18.6%, which is an improvement over and would reduce the nonconformity of the existing condition of 12.3% open area. This change to a pre-existing nonconforming use would not be substantially more detrimental than the existing nonconforming use to the neighborhood within the meaning of section 3.3.2, paragraph 1, since the resulting change will increase open area from existing conditions and enable substantially enhanced traffic flow within the area when the town implements the traffic improvements within the commercial property easement and beyond. Similarly, section 4.1.2.6 provides that front yard shall be green and open, be suitably landscaped, be unbuilt upon, be unpaved, and not parked on. Adequate entrances and exits shall be allowed in this front yard. The existing condition at the property along South Main Street has a variable depth of as little as 4 feet of green and open area, and the existing condition along Boston Street has a variable depth of as little as 0 feet of green and open area. If the proposed project did not include the transfer of the commercial project easement, the lot green and open area would be 30 feet in depth, which complies with the zoning bylaw. To assist the town in its efforts to correct long-standing traffic issues associated with the Boston Street South Main Street intersection, however, the applicant has offered to transfer the commercial property easement to the town pursuant to the terms of the MOU. The results of the commercial property easement transfer reduce the green and open area in the front yard to as little as 6 feet along South Main Street and would reduce the green and open area in the front yard to as little as 18 feet along Boston Street, which is below the 30-foot deep green and open area required under the zoning bylaw. But this change will still be an improvement over the existing condition, as it would reduce the pre-existing non-conforming use of the green and open area from existing conditions of 4 feet to the proposed 6 feet along South Main Street, and the existing conditions of 0 feet to the proposed 18 feet along Boston Street under existing conditions. The board finds this change to be a pre-existing non-conforming use. This change to a pre-existing non-conforming use would not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use to the neighborhood within the meaning of section 3.3.2, paragraph 1, since the resulting change will increase the green and open areas on both streets, reduce the nonconformity, and enable substantially enhanced traffic flow within the area upon the town's implementation of the traffic improvements within the commercial property easement and beyond.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Based on those findings, the foregoing special permit findings, general special permit findings, and other findings as previously approved, I will move that the, pursuant to the board's authority to grant such relief under section 3.3.2 of the bylaws, to approve the special permit to allow for a change or extension of a pre-existing non-conforming use with respect to the requirements of section 4.1.2.3, the open area for business districts, and with respects to section 4.1.2.3, green and open area within the front yard, subject to the conditions as previously approved in section, described as section 4 below.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Almost done. Concerning the general special permit criteria, based on all the evidence provided and the testimony presented during the public hearing, I will move that the board make the following finding: that the adverse effects of the uses associated with the grants of all of the special permits identified above will not outweigh its beneficial impacts to the town or the neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and of the proposal in relation to that site. In addition to the specific factors and findings for each of the special permits previously described, I move to make the following additional findings, which will be described as general SP findings. One, that the community needs, concerning the community needs served by the proposal, it is beneficial to encourage the redevelopment of vacant, underutilized properties and convert them to viable, productive, and attractive businesses. The project design, including signage, landscaping, enhanced green and open areas, particularly along the property frontage, is designed to attract and maintain strong tenants, designed to introduce a variety of smaller complementary commercial and retail uses with enhanced pedestrian connectivity. Concerning the pedestrian and traffic safety and flow, the redevelopment of the property creates no public safety concerns and ensures convenient and safe access for both pedestrian and vehicular traffic, which has been confirmed by the applicants and the board's traffic peer review professionals. Of significant benefit is the applicant's proposed dedication at no cost to the town of future access easements both along Boston Street and South Main Street, which presents a unique opportunity to enable the town to facilitate implementation of both the critical infrastructure improvements and the long-term corridor improvement project as identified in the corridor improvement study described in the MOU, which would improve a long-standing traffic bottleneck area within Middleton Center corridor. In addition, such traffic improvements will result in the increase of green and open areas along the property frontage area above existing conditions. In addition to these traffic improvements, the use of a portion of the landscape buffer as a sidewalk area will further enhance pedestrian connectivity. Concerning the utilities and public services, the property layout and all proposed improvements are more than sufficient to meet the needs of the project as well as the town and all abutters. Concerning neighborhood character, the project does not negatively impact the neighborhood character as safe and convenient access is provided throughout the property. Attractive signage designed to aid communication, orientation, identify activities designed to aid communication, orientation, identify activities that have been incorporated into the design and previously paved areas will be converted to green and open areas along the property frontage where none currently exist. The project has been designed to provide enhanced walkability to residents in the surrounding neighborhood. Concerning the natural environment, the project does not negatively impact the natural environment as the existing site is almost entirely paved or occupied with structures, and the currently paved areas will be converted to open areas and green areas along the property. The project will also include landscaping, signage, lighting, and screening enhancements designed to create an attractive retail option for the town, which complements the surrounding neighborhood. Concerning the economic and fiscal impacts, the redevelopment of the property will result in the fiscal benefit of converting a vacant and dilapidated structure into a first-class retail complex that will generate real estate sales and personal property tax revenue for the town. In addition to the direct fiscal impact, the redevelopment of the special permit uses will add to the local economy by bringing new businesses to Middleton and increasing job opportunities within the town.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 So moved.
Based on the foregoing, I move that pursuant to the board's authority to grant such relief under section 9.4 of the zoning bylaws, to approve these special permits as described above, subject to all the conditions as previously approved in the described section 4.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. We going back to,
That's it.
Got it?
so with that, 49 South Main Street is done.
Done.
We will now go back to the decisions for 10-18 Boston Street. Mr. Hartwell.
Give him a minute. He's having a lozenge. He's having a lozenge.
Have a lozenge.
This one's a
For,
lot.
for reference, we're working off the draft dated August 2nd. We discussed it, but I think there was some final cleanup after the 25th. There was a circulated draft, I believe, on the 2nd. Tracks almost identical.
I haven't gotten an updated version, so.
I don't think the conditions changed at all after that. I think John just kind of cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we didn't have much, right? I thought we were close.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really just the discussion over that one thing.
Yep.
So the conditions and the findings were all the same. If there was cleanup, it was all non-substantive. I'm gonna send that to, I have both drafts with today's date, and I'll send to Lisa. So the draft we were looking at on the 25th might have still had some comments and red lines, I think, John. But, and we circulated maybe just amongst the lawyers.
We'll incorporate the conditions the same way we did before. I just, like, so long as the findings are the same.
No, the
I'm
finding-
only gonna read the findings and then
findings
it's
did
one
not-
vote on the motion. because
findings
it's a
did not
comprehensive
change.
permit, so
Procedural history didn't change.
I'm not reading all that anyway.
This one should be short.
We'll be giving you oxygen.
Yeah, was the draft previously reviewed by the board at its, at the last session of the public hearing on the 25th?
Yeah, there's,
Vague memory of that.
we just held holding off because of the drive-through.
Mr. Chair, concerning the comprehensive permit application filed by Villabridge Acquisitions LLC for the property at 10 Boston Street and portions of 18 Boston Street and 49 South Main Street, I move that the board make the following findings. First, the board notified all applicable local boards and commissions of the filing of the application by sending a copy thereof to such local boards and commissions for their recommendations, all of which have been made a part of the record of these proceedings and have been taken into consideration by the board in rendering its decision. 2, the board finds that the applicant was cooperative and flexible and willingly made project changes to address concerns of the board, town officials, and members of the public. 3, according to the Commonwealth's Department of Housing and Community Development, subsidized housing inventory, as defined in 760 CMR 56.02, as of June 29, 2023, 4.83% of the town's total housing stock constituted subsidized housing inventory, eligible housing, as defined in 760 CMR 56.02. 4, the board finds that the town has a continued need for affordable housing and that this project will provide such housing. 5, the board finds that redevelopment of a previously developed site is consistent with smart growth principles and further finds that the location of the site near the town center and transportation routes is also consistent with such principles. 6, the board finds that Boston Street and South Main Street already exhibit substantial traffic and poor levels of service. The board finds that the project, along with the proposed commercial traffic, will exacerbate existing conditions and that some mitigation is required. The applicant has agreed to a variety of mitigation measures, and the board finds that these measures, along with other measures contained in the conditions stated below, are essential to address and improve traffic conditions. With the incorporation of all these collective traffic measures into this permit, the board finds that the project will improve local concerns relating to traffic. In addition, the board finds that the applicant and the town have worked diligently to finalize and execute an agreement, the MOU, under which the applicant has conditionally agreed to a variety of other traffic improving measures, including but not limited to the conveyance of easements for the town's potential widening of Boston Street and South Main Street in the vicinity of their intersection. The board further acknowledges that if the contingencies in such agreement are satisfied, certain changes to the project may be required, all of which may be processed administratively as described herein. 7, the board finds that proposed conditions recommended by TEC with respect to various civil and traffic engineering components of the project are necessary in order to mitigate impacts to local concerns. Such concerns are described in section 4, to be detailed below. Notwithstanding the preceding findings and the board's concerns with respect thereto, as noted, the board finds that when built in accordance with the plans and the conditions imposed herein, the project will be consistent with local needs as such phrase is contemplated by General Law, Chapter 40B, Sections 20 to 23. The board also finds that any unmitigated impacts posed by the project will not outweigh the benefits provided by the project's affordable units. 9, the board also finds that the applicant has worked in good faith to mitigate adverse impacts to the best of its ability. 10, the board finds that the grant of certain waivers from local bylaws and regulations as described both herein and attached in Exhibit A are acceptable, although the grant of any waivers will cause adverse impacts to local concerns. Nevertheless, the board finds that any local concerns that have been affected thereby do not outweigh the town's need for affordable housing, particularly given the mitigation that has been provided by the applicant. 11, the board finds that the conditions imposed in the following section are necessary in order to properly address local concerns. The board finds that such conditions will not render the project uneconomic. To the extent that such conditions do render the project uneconomic, the board finds that the local concerns in imposing the same outweigh the statutory requirements for the affordable units that have been proposed.
Thank you, Mr. Hartwell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Mr. Chair, pursuant to Chapter 40B, I move to grant the special permit for the applicant, subject to the conditions as approved in the,
I think that the draft reviewed by the board on July 25th.
July 25th.
That was the last night of the public hearing when we had it all in front of us.
Okay.
Right, the comprehensive permit, yeah. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
he
you
said
meant.
special permit.
It says special, comprehensive.
comprehensive permit. Sorry. Pursuant to Chapter 40B, to grant the comprehensive permit to the applicant for the development as described in the conditions as approved by the applicant's council and town council and submitted to the board at its July 25th meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? So moved. So,
Good night.
what I would like to say is, first and foremost, want to thank the applicant for your cooperation in working with us to get to a project that we believe and hopefully will be an asset to the town as well as the neighborhood. I want to thank staff. This has been a long process. I want to thank my colleagues on the board here. This has been a lot of work. The applicant's design team, our peer reviewers, it's been a lot of work. And lastly, I want to thank the public for being here, that you were engaged in the process. This is what public meetings are all about. So thank you for being here and being part of this. This is a pretty big project for the town. And we're hopeful that it will be successful for you and also successful for the town. So, thank you and good luck.
Very much. Excited to be part of the community. Thank you.
Bill, just to put a point on the, the commercial thing, it relates back to the MOU. The MOU kind of defines the commercial project with respect to earlier plans, but it says except as may be otherwise.
Changed by the ZBA. I remember that being in there. Yep.
So, covers it all.
Thanks, folks.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The ride will probably be shorter tonight. Okay, continued public hearings, 141, 143 Essex Street, A&F Realty Partners, special permit and site plan approval for the modification of the plan to construct a common driveway under section 6.3.6. And I believe we got a drainage report.
We did?
Yep. Is there anyone here for this project?
Kurt Mann for the petitioner, A&F Realty, requesting a modification of the special permit issued authorizing the installation and use of the common driveway at 141 Essex Street. My understanding is that the board's been provided with copies of the modified site plan. To that, I would just add that the modification of the driveway plans have been submitted to the Middleton Fire Department and was reviewed and approved by them. And the modification to the stormwater management system was submitted and reviewed and approved by the conservation agent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
I'll go to Mr. Renault.
Yes, I reviewed the stormwater report, and I got to say, I agree with the system that he's doing for the new buildings, but you've made major modifications to the driveway, and you're not providing any changes to that. And you also removed 2 sections that were there to treat driveways. So, from my perspective, this needs another another swipe for sure. The section going to Essex Street, you're missing a couple of trench drains that were originally there, and you widened the driveway and doubled the size of it. You also removed a subsurface pond, or a surface pond that was treating runoff from the driveway. That's gone now. So, I mean, I can't see how you don't have to also do the analysis for the, for the driveway as well.
So, I'm not personally able to respond to those. They're covering for Joe, who couldn't make it tonight. I can just say that I know the plan was modified by the engineers and, again, reviewed and approved by Kristen, and
Yeah,
maybe
and-
the questions that
Yeah, I'm not
able to answer that tonight, but
Unfortunately, I'm still not comfortable with it. I know they have reviewed it, yet they've missed a bunch. So, I mean, we're going to look at it from a drainage standpoint, and I'm not seeing how this is consistent with the original plan that was here. So,
Did you get, like, increased impervious?
there's a bunch of increased impervious for the driveway.
Yeah, that's what I
They
thought.
also removed two treatment systems as part of this, right? And increased the driveway size. So, I mean, between all those things, that has to be addressed somehow.
so continue the petition.
Yep. I'm happy to make a motion to continue.
Well, let me just before.
Oh, unless you have other comments, guys. Sorry.
Craig, any comments from you?
No, I mean, I'll defer to Bill on the engineering side of it. But I think Ann was saying maybe it might be good to go out and look at it.
Go out and take a look.
Do you think
If
there's
you
any?
want to, we could do it, for
Do
sure.
you want to do a joint site walk, or just want to go on our own between now and next meeting?
Will we know what we're looking at?
Well, some
Yeah,
of
I
us.
feel like,
Yeah.
I feel like it makes sense.
I do,
If, we,
but,
if
yeah.
it's possible, yeah. I think if it's possible, we should go together. It's
Well,
usually
and I
how
think it would
feels.
be important to have Bill there, so you can narrate a little bit for the members.
Yeah.
All right,
What are we thinking?
let's look.
Probably have to post the meeting if we're all there, right?
Just curious, Counselor, was there a reason for the change from the original plan?
We're adding
And
duplexes.
I'm not all that familiar with the project.
The other
My
man is,
understanding
right?
is that the orientation of the buildings was changed just because they thought it was going to be a better design, and
I give you a
driveway,
little
same
more,
thing.
to give you a little
Sure.
more history of it.
Sure.
So last night, Attorney Jill had the project in front of the planning board. The planning board amended their special permit for the two families. The initial plan came in, the two families were pretty plain, rectangles. I believe there's a new buyer involved, or a new, there's a sale involved. The new buyer wanted a nicer looking project, so they redesigned the two families. So they went back to the planning board last night, which I believe was voted favorably.
Yes.
Justin was there, I think. So they redesigned them over the basics. So that's where the change to the driveway comes in.
Okay. We could do a Saturday, or our next meeting is on the 26th of September, so we could do a Saturday, if you want to do that. We could do an evening. What's your pleasure?
There's still an existing house on the property. They haven't taken that down yet, I don't believe.
Are people residing there?
Do you know if anyone's living in that house, Kurt?
No idea, Scott.
So you might have a hard time, you might want it staked out too, or at least some, not the whole thing, but
That
at
would be
least
helpful. Yeah, that would be
just,
helpful.
some points so you can,
Just get a general idea of where we are.
yeah.
So do we want to try and do something the week of the 16th? We could do Saturday, the 14th?
Want to do like an evening during that week? It's still light out.
Sure, do that.
Yeah, I work on Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday the 14th doesn't work for me.
How about,
Maybe Friday.
any night the week of the 16th works, with the exception of Thursday night or Friday. How's the 18th?
September 18th?
September 18th work?
I'm good.
I'm
I'm good
out
for
of
that
town,
too.
but do you need me?
Is that enough time to get the surveyor out there?
FaceTime you in.
Oh, I'll be on the phone.
Drive.
Want to do the 24th?
I
Tuesday
honestly
okay?
don't know, Scott.
I can't do the, I have a conflict on the 24th.
Can you let,
Well, no, it's still light out.
have Jill let Lisa know if she's able to pull it together so
Yep.
she can notify the board?
Why don't we give you a couple of dates? Okay? 24th, 18th, did we say the 18th as well?
Sure.
Right, the
So
18th
either
or
the
the
18th or the 24th.
18th or
Checking on
24th?
the
at-
20
yeah,
I'm checking on the 24th.
6 o'clock?
Of
I might not be
September.
able to do the 24th.
You can't do the
That's okay.
24th?
I'm checking right now.
How about,
Service.
The 18th?
how about the 18th?
18th I can definitely do.
Why don't we just try and work on that one, see if that works?
The
18th of
18th.
August, of September, excuse me.
All right. And you're looking to have something marked or flagged
I
out
think if you
there?
just did, I think I'd be good if you just had the front corners of each building. That would give us enough to be able to walk through and see where things are.
Kind of get
Because
it.
we have a stone wall, I think, that's there, so you know where that is. There's a monument, right?
Just so they have some bearing on the site of where the buildings would be and the driveway would be running.
Just so we can have some sort of reference, if we're looking at a site plan, we kind of, oh, that's where the building is. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any additional comments from the members? Anyone here from the public here for this? Hearing none. I'll accept the motion that we continue this meeting to a site walk on the 18th.
Well, no.
Oh,
Possibly.
Continue this till,
This is
The
the next
26th.
meeting.
right.
Yeah, we would just, we would just have the sidewalk
All right.
as a
Okay.
public
Is
meeting.
that a so moved, Bill?
So moved.
Okay. Was that a second?
It was.
I thought it was. Okay. All right, motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. Okay. Right along. Whoops. Oh, I don't believe I just did that. Okay, next up, new public hearings. 170 North Main Street, Rakesh Patel. Madam Clerk.
Sure. The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, Fuller Meadows School, on the application of Rakesh Patel for approval of a non-conforming sign pylon relocation at 170 North Main Street, found on Assessor's Map 16, Parcel 69. Plans are on file with our town clerk.
Hello, he's the owner. I'm the property manager, Dylan Kelly. I've been managing the property there for about 2 years. I'm here to request the current sign on the, which is if you're looking at the property from the street, on the far left-hand corner, and then I'm looking to move that sign, keep it the same distance from the street, but move that sign to the center of the grass strip that runs along the two. That runs along the front of the building and has the two entrances on either side. The current sign has been there for many years. It's very outdated, and looking to, and also it's, I think, in a poor location. For example, when you're coming into town from North Andover, by the time you see the sign, you're already kind of past the entrances, and it makes it confusing because there's driveways that belong to someone else on the other side of the sign. Also, it's just easier for consumers and people to navigate the building with the sign in the center. I think it's more visually appealing. And also the sign we're looking to put up is more of a modern sign. The current sign is one of those signs that are lit up by floodlights from the exterior. The sign we want to put in is, a sign that's backlit. It's the same sign company and same general design as the Starbucks building in Middleton, as you may be aware of. Obviously, it'll be fewer panels because there's less tenants at that building, but just same general design. I have the endorsement of the Industrial Commercial Design Review Committee, and then the planning board also unanimously, voted yes as well last night. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I also have the sign design if you guys don't have it,
Yeah, we
and
don't
also
get
the
it.
site plan.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Okay.
Is this the old Dunkin' Donuts? What? What property is that?
This is where Dave Liquors is and
Okay.
Daria's is. All the businesses there are small businesses. They've been existing for many years. So I think it'll be improvement to them as well. These have a couple markups from the planning board last night, but those are the site plans. This is the original design made like 40 years ago of the sign that's existing. And this is the sign that we want to, want to put up, which is. I have a bigger site plan too, if you like. And just to reiterate, it's going to be same size as far as height is concerned and width. I think it may be actually a little bit shorter, but it's going to be same distance from the street as it is currently. It's just moved to the center, which I think is more visually appealing.
So the sign itself is fully compliant that they're proposing.
Okay.
It's the location.
Okay.
What's not compliant about the location?
Our bylaw requires a 10-foot setback for ground signs.
Okay.
The current sign is about 1.5 feet. The edge of pavement at 114 is not even close to the property line in that area. So the existing sign's about 1.5 feet off the property line, although it appears to be probably close to the 10 feet. So he's looking to shift it down to the middle of the property. It gives you some better sight lines too, coming out of the Dave's Liquors side of the building and the EJP driveway as well.
Are you okay with that sign, where it is? Are you okay with that?
With the proposed?
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
about the tree that's there?
The trees were taken down.
That tree's gone?
Yes.
That was there?
It's already down, or you're taking it down?
It is down.
It is down. Okay.
You gonna replace any of those trees?
The plan is, once the sign is up, to put, and the industrial commercial committee also suggested this, is when the sign is up, to put nice, landscaping around the sign. That's our full intent, to put nice landscaping around the sign and make it visually appealing. We just haven't done it because obviously we had to dig up the dirt to put the sign there first.
So like low shrubs, kind of
Low
thing.
shrubs.
And you're not going to put something that's going to block the sign. At the same time, we don't want anything that's going to, impair sight distance, right?
Yeah, we're looking to do low shrubs, and nice flowers, something, very appealing in that regard.
It's getting a little more devoid every time, lately of trees and such. It's starting to look really bare down there.
So there were 3 trees in front of the property. Are all 3 of them gone?
Yes.
Why is that? Why'd you take all 3 down?
Because there was, when the owners bought the building, there was great concern that, honestly, it just made the building hard to see when you're driving on the street. You take that bend, there's a little bit of a bend on 114 when you're coming in from North Andover, and there's already a good amount of conservation land that is part of this property as well that kind of blocks the building. So they want to take down those
I'm looking
trees.
at it. Yeah, there's like a grass strip, and then there were 3 trees there.
Yes.
So that for me, that's a weak argument. But nonetheless, my question would be, when this property was developed for this building, however many eons ago, was part of the approval a landscape plan that included trees? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd have to go back and look at that.
What year was that?
So to give you some history here, I started this sign process, I think with the building department a year ago or something along those lines. So we tried to find the original site plan. We did. I think it was stamped in the 70s at some point. The site plan that was on file made 0 sense. It wasn't accurate of what was existing on that property. I asked the building department what I should do for this application. We ended up making a new site plan and paying an engineer to do a full new site plan, and this is what I have in my hand here. And then resubmitted that site plan. But when we had the trees there, and when the owners bought the property, the site plan honestly had the building was nothing made sense. There was 3 cuts into the property from the street, which is not how it is now. The parking lot wasn't the same, so it was very different.
So when you take down, you're gonna take down the existing sign and move it to where the, sort of like the center of the buildings or in front of Dave's or wherever it is, right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay, and when you take the sign down, what are you gonna put there? Nothing?
Well, so we did some landscaping in that area. It was all bark mulch and landscape on the side. We just replaced all that bark mulch with landscaping stone that, you know, absorbs water and all that stuff. And then we're going to be putting new shrubs, low shrubs and stuff and plants along that in the fall. But the main reason why I'm asking for the sign relocation is just because when you're pulling out of that property, when you want to turn right, and I do this all the time, it's very hard to see beyond where the sign is when you're pulling out to 114, and you know that part of
All right, so
114
time
is
for a
very
second.
narrow. Oh, yeah.
If the sign was on the other side of the driveway and you were trying to make a left, I could buy that argument. But and I don't have a problem with you moving the sign in front of the building, but if you're coming out and you're making a right, unless there's someone in the opposing lane coming the wrong way, there's no sightline issue.
Okay, well, there's also, not to argue with you, but there is
Yeah, I wouldn't.
another street right on the other side of that property that has vehicle traffic as well.
You're right. Yeah. Yep, that's fine. Okay, members, anything? Mr.
Yeah.
Bill?
I'm in the point where I think you gotta put a tree or two back, at
What's
least. I'm thinking tree or two to go back.
And I'm happy to do that. If you have any recommendations or anything you want as far as landscaping on that green strip, that's fine with me.
I mean, I think where the sign is, my initial thought was plant a tree where the sign was, and then plant a tree at the other end, where you took the other tree out, at the edge of the other driveway, where there used to be a tree. At least there's something flanking each end of the property, but that's just me. I
You could
defer to
probably,
my-
and
the
I'd
other
say
members.
you'd add another one by the wetland area.
Another one by the way, sure.
Yeah, so you lost three, put three back.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of, we have trees across the street too, so the idea here is that we're trying to create a streetscape, so.
So
Well,
to
yeah, but
me,
it's traffic calming measures as well, so it's kind of,
You would have to go to the Conservation Commission to get approval.
To add a tree? No.
Do any work in there.
Or you
Where
could,
the trees came
or you
down,
could talk to
they
Kristen and she's gonna say, you can plant a tree in the buffer, I mean.
well, we only took the trees down. We only took trees down on that grass strip. We never touched the conservation land.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but you're putting a sign where the other tree was, right? So, took three down, find a spot for three.
Okay. I'm fine finding.
do you have any
I
preference? Bill?
can't imagine that she would have you file to add a tree. I mean, it's kind of the polar opposite of what they, usually it's don't take any trees down, so I think if you're adding one, that'd be fine, but.
Any preference? Bradford Pear, Glenda, any, do you care?
No, whoever,
No, Bradford.
whatever,
Yeah,
what,
I'm just saying.
whatever
it just
town
always
staff
comes
thinks
off
is
top of my
the
head.
right one, yeah.
Carolyn, any comment?
Yeah, my only concern is whether or not this is gonna block. So people come in to the property.
I have a bigger site plan if you want one.
Yeah, no, it's okay. People come into the property from this side, like, right, you've got the angled spaces, right? So they come into the property from this side, they put the angled spaces right there, so like, you're not, most people don't come in from this side to drive back this way. So they come in, they park, they get their hair cut or whatever, they pull out here, and then they have to pull out of the property here.
Yep.
My only concern is whether it's gonna impede sight distance taking that left.
Look, I would say it depends on I mean, if you're putting like giant arborvitaes that you can't see through.
Yeah.
But if you're putting,
No, I'm talking about the sign.
oh, the sign, oh, sorry.
Because it's a big,
That's what I don't understand.
yeah, it's a big block.
The sign is it's not facing the road, it's sideways,
Yeah.
right?
Or just like this.
Perpendicular.
Not to interrupt, but it's
Perpendicular
going to
to the
be
road.
at
The
a far
DPW
distant.
area?
Sorry.
Looking at that, do they have any say in the sight line of that? Or is that your?
It's not their road.
No, I mean, is that whose purveyance is that to make sure that that sign doesn't block sight, the sight line? Is that you or the DPW?
It's you guys.
I was gonna say it's us.
You're looking at them.
They always have a lot to say about it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it does improve from what's there. I would agree with that, because I mean, there was already a tree in the middle, so it's kind of going where the old tree used to be.
Tree's a lot less
mean,
to look through than a
yeah.
big sign.
Yeah, but no, but it was a low thing, if you look at it.
I
it
mean,
was-
is the intent to put the sign in the middle of that grass strip between the two
Yes,
driveways?
and I can show you on the big site plan if you'd like to see it. It is noted right in the middle. If you like to see the big site plan, it is noted where it would be.
I think if it's in the middle.
And it's literally in the center of that grass strip,
Yeah.
measured from side to side. So it is a lot further away from the entrances as far as line of sight. I'm not an engineer, but
If the engineer's okay with it, I'm fine with it.
I mean,
I just,
it's a dab in the center,
Taking
and
left out of
it's
EJP will help.
Okay.
okay,
Ian?
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no.
No, that's okay. Scott, is that the property after that, the old pipe store there? Is that it's in process of being sold? Right? Is that for sale?
I don't know,
That's
it's
the
been a
one that we did.
There's some rumors, I don't
There's a
know.
sign on it.
Oh.
There's a lot of rumors
This one
circulating.
right here is still
Yeah.
before us.
Been a for sale sign out there, 3, 4 years maybe.
All right, because that whole strip's got to improve in terms of looks, and
Well,
that
we already-
is abutting him.
Well, didn't we get,
Yeah.
we got the one where like in front of where
There's one on the other
grass.
side.
the
Yeah.
other side of that, yep, the other side of
Let me
it.
add another wrinkle.
EJP.
Is that grass strip? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's going to have to improve, that whole strip line there, and that's going to affect you. So either you're putting something there or they are.
I'm sorry, I'm just confused by the question.
Is the grass strip on your property, or is it the state layout?
It's on.
So the grass strip is half, a little bit of half of it is on our property, and then a little bit of half of it's on the state right away. And if you'd like to see the big site plan, it does show.
No, I just want to, have you talked to Mass DOT to erect something in their layout?
It's not in
Well,
the
it's not on
layout.
their land. It's on our land. It's about 1 to 2 feet away from the property line, away from the state highway.
All right, so the grass strip, part of it is in the layout, but where you're putting this is in,
Our land.
okay.
It's about 2 feet away from the property line on our side, not touching the state highway.
Okay.
I mean, I think you could stick the tree where the old sign was, but push it back
Yeah.
to the end, like where the parking spot is, because it looks like you've already kind of expanded from what the parking was too, if I'm looking at this right.
Well, I just want to iterate. The owners
No,
that
you,
I
I know-
represent,
no, I- not the
we,
you,
we
yeah.
bought this property as is, and we did not touch the entrances. The entrances are the same width they've been for about 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think what my colleague is saying, where the sign is, you don't have to plant the tree right in the middle of where the sign was. You can move it back closer to the parking spaces.
Well, I guess my question is like, how big are these trees? Are they going to be,
Norway maples, they're massive.
Well,
So I mean, are they?
No
gonna-
invasive trees, I
you
like
need
it.
a deciduous tree with a trunk and it has a leaf canopy. People
Okay.
can see through the trunk, that's no problem. You don't want to put up a pine tree.
Yeah, I just
Put
want
up some
to.
deciduous type of tree.
Okay.
And there's plenty of trees you can find out, any tree that can, withstand salt and sand. And
And you want that tree on the grass strip, or can it be on the other side of the property?
it's where the old sign was.
Yeah.
Oh,
think
we're talking
behind-
about that.
yeah,
I
we're
was
talking about
confused.
Behind there, and I would say on the other side, right?
Yeah.
By the wetland area, there's a little grass block, put one there. You got one on either end, I think that probably covers us, right, folks? I mean, you took out 3, put back 2?
I am 100% good with putting one of those trees on where the existing sign is.
Yep.
I honestly just don't know what I can do on the other side, because if you look at the site plan, all that land is like untouchable because of conservation. So I just
we're
don't
talking
want to
the grass
get.
strip.
The grass strip.
Oh, grass strip.
Where the
Okay.
grass strip is.
The grass strip.
Yeah, so you have a grass strip that's near
Find a place in the grass strip.
near the wetland area you can do.
I understand.
Would look good.
Ann, any, want to give them some examples that, what type of tree? Give them like a couple that they can select, or we could leave it to the commissioner to decide what he,
I would leave it to the conservation agent.
Yeah, let's let them decide.
what kind of tree? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You can condition it
Where
that
are we
way.
planting these trees?
One where the old sign is,
What where the old sign was. And then one somewhere within the grass strip.
to balance out, so on the other end.
Yeah.
Create a balance of sorts.
All right, is everybody good?
Yep.
Thought Hillbridge was hot. All right. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak on this? You must have something. Nothing?
I will just say one thing.
Stand up and
Name and
identify.
address.
A little,
on, Diane.
just, no, nothing against, just a little historical note that site was originally Bucci's Package Store. So I'm just going to do a shout out for long ago where that was. It was Bucci's Package Store when I was little. So there you go.
Thank you.
You know, Diane, we have an empty seat here.
Yeah, we're looking for somebody.
Just in case you were looking for something else to do.
Yeah,
Belly up, right to the table.
we'd love to have you.
Okay. Hearing that, no additional comments. Mr. Hartwell.
He's making notes.
By the way, if he's sick some night, I won't be here.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just saying.
All right, so one tree is going to be located in the location of the current sign, and the other tree will be located on the northerly end of the grass strip along 114.
Yes.
Go.
Yep. Perfect. Trees shall be determined by the conservation agent.
Subject to approval by the conservation agent.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board accept the following findings. That under section 5.2.8.1, that the building commissioner has determined that the proposed sign does not increase the existing nonconformity. 2, that under section 3.3.3, that such reconstruction, extension, alteration, or change to an pre-existing nonconforming structure shall not be substantially more detrimental than the existing nonconforming structure to the neighborhood. And that the sign is in harmony with and does not derogate with the general purpose of our bylaws, more specifically that the premises is an appropriate location for the proposed sign, and that conditions affecting the premises are different for other similarly situated properties within the district and require special relief. The sign will not adversely affect or be incongruous with the neighborhood or surrounding zoning district in which it's to be located. There will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicular, pedestrian, traffic, or safety as a result of the sign, and the sign satisfies all the applicable dimensional and other criteria as described in section 5.2 unless otherwise waived or otherwise pre-existing currently.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Based on those findings and the board's authority to grant such relief, I'll move to grant the special permit under sections 3.3.3 and sections 5.2.7, subject to our general conditions and the special condition that the applicant must plant 2 trees, 1 in the general location of the current sign and 1 at the northerly end of the grass strip along 114, subject to approval by the conservation agent.
Is that the right section? I think it was I think we
It
have
is.
5.2.8.1.
That's not the right section.
That's not the right one? Okay, sounds good. I'll second it then.
So 5.2.8.1
Yeah.
is the finding that we made concerning the building commissioner's determination that is not.
Oh, okay.
So we had to incorporate 5.2.8.1 as a finding that he has said is okay,
Yep.
and now it's,
All right.
then 3.3.3 covers it, but the special permit for a sign is actually 5.2.7.
The only thing I would add to that is that the tree shall be no closer to the roadway than the existing sign.
The section says that a non-conforming sign is treated as a structure. That's where the 3.3 came in.
Right.
I'll still second it.
We're all
Trust you.
wrap them all together.
I like it.
All right, motion made and seconded. Do we have any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all.
All right, next up,
Oh, we got one
new
more.
projects. I'm not sure what new projects. Okay, 21 Hilldale Ave, Stephanie O'Donnell, request for a determination of a minor modification to previously granted special permit in variance under section 260-4A1E6.
For where? Who's this?
That's it. We're just putting, the reason why I'm requesting the additional 4 feet is we were hoping to put a stair landing off the back of the deck. The reason why we had to make that change from the original one is we shortened the deck And where the deck ends, there's a door that goes into our basement. And so that's why we're asking to go off the back of the deck and extend an additional 4 feet.
Does that bring you any closer to the property lines or anything?
It's the same distance to the property line. It's just another 4 or 5 feet
Into the rear.
going
Yeah.
off the house, but maintaining the same I think it was a 5-foot,
I don't have that in
yeah,
front
we
of
got
me,
the-
sorry.
Right, it's basically, they're going from that
Yeah.
To just,
to that.
So the set,
Smaller deck.
It's, yeah, it's smaller.
smaller,
It's
but.
do you have any money?
the-
No. We decreased it just because it's less money.
It's smaller, but extended a little bit further on that 6-foot setback.
That's it, yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, works for me,
All right. What do we need?
especially in that area.
How do we
so-
move these? I don't even know how we move these.
I believe you just take a vote, or,
Well, first of all, we're considering this a minor modification.
so that's what, yeah.
That's all we're voting on, is whether we consider this change to be a minor modification, and then Scott takes it from there.
Okay. So I'll accept the motion that we consider that the change to 21 Hilldale Avenue is a minor modification and subject to the review of the commissioner.
So moved.
Is that okay?
Sounds right.
Based on the fact that it does not increase the extent to the nonconformity as previously approved.
And I'll
I
amend
like that. Yeah, that-
amend it.
What he said.
yeah, I'll still second it.
Still second. All right. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it, thank you very much.
Come back anytime. Enjoy the show. With that, is there any staff report?
You don't have.
Hearing
staff.
none. Well, we have a couple of staff members.
Couple of staff.
On that,
I do want to say one thing. Congratulations to the members. I think we all did a lot of work with the culmination of tonight's agenda, but, and town council has also made comment as to how hard the members have worked on the agenda and the projects that are before us, and so I'm proud to be part of this group.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Mr. Chair.
And with that,
Motion to
Well,
adjourn.
actually, can I ask one question?
okay.
Actually, two.
All right,
One,
no, we only have time for one.
the first one is, how long does the town maintain safe harbor with 40B? So now we have this 40B going in. Is there a period of time that we maintain safe harbor, or is it because we are not at 10% where
That would
I think
have
it was
added.
1 year. We got a
1 year?
1 year. Right?
Well, I think it's 2, right? If you'd have, depends on the percentage that you're adding to your overall. And
I don't think we've added enough to the percentage. to
That
get
what,
the-
60
to get-
units? We needed 200 to be
Oh, so
compliant.
it would have been 25%.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
think we're
so-
getting there. Yeah. I think we're pretty close to the 2.
I'll confirm with council and email
Yeah.
the chair, and the chair can.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just,
What's your second question? Because that was quick.
when will the planner position be posted?
Burning in all of us.
It has been
Oh,
posted.
it
yeah.
has?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Did you say
I
it's
looked on
been
MMA,
filled?
I didn't see
No,
it.
it's not been filled. No, it's been posted.
Oh, it's been posted.
Okay.
So we're just waiting, seeing what comes in.
Hopefully get applicants. Okay.
Okay. Yes, hopefully soon.
I'm just as eager.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. I get it. There's vacancies and there's voids and all that stuff, but I know like today, we didn't get packets and all that kind of stuff, so that's so very important for us. I know I speak on behalf of the other members here. It's good to get that packet so we can kind of go through it and we're prepared. I brought my own laptop tonight just because I was saving stuff today, just in case I couldn't find it on here. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, that was a little more reflective of the fire at the DPW than it was of the vacancy in the planner position. But come the next time around, we'll
More reflective of what?
the fire at the DPW.
Oh,
last
I
week.
didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a fire at the DPW.
Did he
Yeah,
set
I
it?
did. Yeah, Scott, you told me.
No, it was
that
not
you?
Scott.
Yes, yeah.
That was unfortunate.
I wanted the day off.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope
Yikes.
everyone's okay.
Thank you.
Accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And seconded by Carol.
Second.
It's about time you seconded something.
I'm so.